could get a little bit weird from APX, mostly Keen in the mid lane. As we see Hecarim, a little bit more resurgence from him getting on that ban list, and the rest are pretty much regular to be seen, that Vladimir and the Karma.
Yeah, gonna be off the board here. Sivir, number 1 AD carry pick right now, not gonna be an option, so that will raise the importance of things like Ashe for the utility AD carry tier list. The other thing to me in this series, Darshan and Ray have both been having very recently some impressive Gnar games. So maybe that on the top side is also going to open up for, do we want to early pick a Gnar? The other guy is a top lane carry player as well. Maybe he'll play Aurelia into it. And a couple, oh, never mind. Aurelia's banned off there by CLG for the last one. So maybe that does signal that CLG at some point will want to try and pick up that Gnar. First on the list, though, is the Gragas, the playmaker, bypassing a lot of other North American LCS teams' tier lists of the Rek'Sai near the top, and Shrimp doing the same, even though Rek'Sai one of his favorite champions.
See how APX feels coming off of yesterday. Do they want the momentum? Do they keep going for the fight? How do you see the Gragas? Like you said, the jungler could still be picked, but they can choose to go to the wayside on that. And Shen has also been getting locked in quite a bit more. We usually see Ray on one of those damage dealers. But Shen can still get it done. We saw Impact yesterday on Cloud9. What do they do? 10 seconds left, waffling back and forth. Definitely going to be that Rek'Sai for Shrimp. What do they hover for the top? Or rather, it could be a mid lane pick. 5 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it before, talking about Keen and his resurgence and the amount of damage he's been able to put out. Cassiopeia has been one of his best champions recently.
Wow.
She does need some protection, does need some compositional advantages, things to be built around here for her for extra appeal. But his mastery of the champion has shown, and not scared to jump right back on it, even as a blind pick into Huhi.
Feel good as well. He's got to bring that confidence into the game and continue to push it the entire time. Show who he is serious. So they can sit back as well. Stixxay may be able to grab an AD carry here if he wishes. Haven't seen him on the Jhin all that much. He was a Lucian Ezreal, Sivir when he could.
Yeah, do like long range pick potential. Ashe arrows are good against Cassiopeia. We mentioned it before. It also is the next one in the tier list. There we go. They lock it in.
That was a really great.
There to talk about long range initiation. There's the bot lane duo for you. Bard can set him up as well.
Completely forgot about the Ashe. We've been seeing her on the ban list as well, but the Bard in general, also with the Zillion, has been picked up very, very heavily as late. Kind of a taster's choice lock-in. We've seen teams go late with that composition to be able to just control everything, mainly TSM. We'll see what APX decides to go against that with. They know they have to be able to be mobile here, also be able to protect some people. So what's the choice?
Yeah, talking about protection, Braum is number 1. So good against that Gragas. Can't stop the barrels. We'll see if X Special on the front line will be able to take the hits. There's just so many options, though, for CLG. They don't have to just rely on one. Yeah. Bard Ultimate can go over the top and stick people in place, so it's going to need more than just that. And because of that, Ezreal going to be picked up. Mobile AD carry here, kind of fend for himself in the backside.
Why not? We heard it in the roll-in. Freak saying, Apollo getting the quadra kill on Ezreal. He's going to do it again. He'll look for that one more time in front of the Nexus for APX. One last round out. APX already showed mid, so CLG actually has a pretty easy job at saying, we have targets we can hit. They've got that, the Ashe, the Bard, the Gragas. What do you think they'll round it out with?
Yeah, I mean, they need some more damage to capitalize on these long-range picks. Because yes, picking the people off is one part of it, but you need to actually have the damage to kill that person as well. And there we go. We're going to have the mid lane wave clear and the split push possibility here for Darshan with Shen. So more cross-map stuff here for CLG. Pretty well-rounded composition, honestly, for both of them.
Actually, would have even thought that maybe they lock in what the Xerath, like even we saw yesterday for that composition. Could have been pretty sweet. That's in Huhi's champion pool. Keep his distance from that Cassiopeia. The Shen and the Victor locked in. What is the deciding thing for Ray here? Likes to carry from the top lane, likes to be a little bit aggressive. Oh, Echo gets locked in. Something that's also been getting a little play time.
Yeah, it's the resurgence of Echo, especially in Korea and China with the Trinity Force, the new take on Echo after the nerfs. We'll see Ray's attempt at it here. Definitely one to jump on any sort of new DPS build for any kind of top laner. So they're very excited to see what he's able to get done, because with the buff Trinity Force, definitely a viable top lane champion once again.
And Apex actually has created quite a mobile force, things that can dodge these arrows, keep themselves out of that crowd control or blocked by Special. And Ray can, like you said, get to his goal, get to Stixxay pretty much every time he wants, but also now with safety. He's kind of got a get out of jail card. It's not just Jarvan, I'm in. He can ult out of that now. Going to be pretty volatile from both sides here. Cannot wait to see what happens. Apex has to remember about the Shen window, though. It's been throwing so many teams off. The Shen pickup has come up huge lately. Get out there on social media and cheer on your favorite team. We're in the final week here, so give it all you got. CLG fans, tweet using the hashtag CLGWin, and Apex supporters, shout out to hashtag ApexWin, and we'll tally those up as we get into game. Apex, like people say, kind of floating around that spot. It could be 7th, but playoffs sound so much nicer. It just sounds so much better.
Definitely got to just do whatever you can to control your own destiny. First step here would be trying to take down Counter Logic Gaming in the last day of the North American LCS regular summer split.
You get a chance at the champs. Maybe when they've been knocked down a peg, so figure out how to do it now. You might have to face them again later. Counter Logic Gaming is having a great second half of the split. They're looking to be able to hit the top of the table again, already coming out with a good amount of championship points from the spring split, and they're looking to add on to that. Already a little back and forth in mid lane, but nothing to write home about just yet. Maybe then, maybe some emails.
Today, I received about 7 Cassiopeia Twin Fangs to the face. Oh, they're going to keep fighting, actually. Special's in there.
Ooh, double pincer. Whoa. Darshan now, Smithy gets the pop up. Oh, the all-out fight. They're going hard here. Darshan's going to get out probably with his life. That's the last hit, but he popped it already. First blood. It's going to be on to Huhi. Apex looking for more, and the flashes are being blown. That's going to be a kill over onto Darshan now. And can they keep going? Smitty, he's going to get cleaned up as well. These assists are going across the team. Kills the Shrimp and Apollo. And who's going to get this one? Did they give it to the jungler or did they give it to Xpecial? Who's the good guy
Apollo,
here?
Give it to Apollo.
He's going to take that. Oh, Shrimp gets it.
Smithy not wanting to give it over to Apollo, starts walking the other way, and Shrimp not going to let him go for another body slam. So, man, here we go, though. Xpecial with a very important dodge on that Bard Q. Then the exhaust used on the Brahmin as he's trying to run away, so it didn't get much usage. But Darshan goes in with almost no life and barely escapes with Ray not getting that auto attack off. But he's out of the fight pretty much and then returns just to die here. CLG, they don't respect the Braum level 1. They try and kill Xpecial. He has some fancy moves, some dodges. Waits out the exhaust, and Xpecial countering Counter Logic. Boom, Shrimp gonna get that early cash as well. So, man, we talked about first step for Apex. You know, you can only control so much for yourself, but what the first step is trying to defeat CLG. This is a very big first step for them. 3 kills in the early game.
1,000 gold lead here. Level 2s don't even really matter. You can see the CL Stixxay's trying to do some auto attacking, but knows overall he'll take a lot of damage if he still tries to fight. And now lanes, and they become standard. I like this. This is going to be a good matchup already. You can see Apollo able to trade back pretty evenly here as they're still going hit for hit.
Jeez, you're going to have to be scared of Shrimp. He started Rek'Sai with not only jungle item, but 2 long swords, and he's coming bottom lane for the flashless Ashe.
They got 1 hit on. Concussive blows goes to Aframu. Maybe they still go for Stixxay to double up on this. Shrimp's going to give up on that. It goes to Apollo. Oh, he gets the kill by himself anyways.
This
You weren't
is
kidding,
a
Kobe.
massacre. I mean, a double kill plus an assist early on for the jungler. Rek'Sai starting with the extra double long swords here. Shrimp is... I mean, all right, so let's look here. CLG, they're playing without summoners on their AD carry, playing aggressive in lane, trying to use the double range here, and they don't respect the early Rek'Sai gank. Shrimp just goes, oh, wow, they're pushed up. Double camp. This is the lane with, summoners burned from the level 1, and I am a rich jungler, so I'm going to go cash in, get 2 more kills. Smithy makes him pay for it with just the red buff, but very happy to pay that price as the Tiamat is already done for Shrimp.
4 minutes.
4 minutes in the game.
He's like, you want to fight me? You don't want to fight me.
Yeah, you too. I got 3 kills now and 2 assists.
He's actually going to be able to walk him right out of this scuttle, too. You can see the gold, 1,100 in the lead already for Shrimp. He's moving across.
The scuttle crab stands no chance.
And he can just basically hover around this side of the jungle, continue to give Xmithy a hard time.
You do whatever you want, buddy. Even though, look at the mid lane, it's not even pushed up. Yet Rek'Sai has so much mobility, plus he's got the early damage. Oh, Smithy was able to secure the whole camp there, though, it looked like. So quick fingers there from Smithy, also has the smite. And he's able to secure his own jungle, so that's going to be good. But I don't know about Darshan as he's pushed up really far. Ray baiting right here.
And he just taunted. There's a minion wave he's not going to be able to fight in. That's way past him now, so no extra damage.
Yep, no flash either.
Yep.
He can sustain himself with the Spirit's Refuge, though, and there's no help from Ray as he doesn't want to add any extra damage. Leaves it up to Shrimp, and Shrimp can't finish.
Yeah.
CLG, this is good. They're trying to right the wrongs here. There's no way they can fight standard lanes. They're 5 kills down in the early game, so they try and switch it up, go for the lane swap, try and keep Apex moving around and not try and fight them. However, there are people here ready to fight.
Well, this is one of the things that made CLG some of the best in the spring split, is rotating in the early game to save themselves and get a lead, but it doesn't look like they can even get away from Apex at this point. Apollo goes down, but it's still traded on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, Apollo on the Ezreal, the whole reason they picked it for him was to be safe, to be able to fend for yourself. We didn't see what happened. However, Counter Logic Gaming get on the board. They get 1 kill for themselves. Meanwhile, top lane, though, again, Stixay's flash is still not back up. He used his heal on cooldown, basically, and still dies to the top lane. Gank here.
See it again.
Yeah, so especially went to Roam because he's on the Braum. Plenty of kill pressure in the early game, and the Ezreal should be able to, try and spam. Oh, never mind. We're going to keep fighting.
Oh, Shrimp goes down. CLG actually picks up quite a bit of gold on that.
Yeah, that was a shutdown because Shrimp had gotten so many of the early kills. A bounty back here for Counter Logic Gaming.
Nice.
This is why you don't give up in the early game, even when things seem dire. Counter Logic Game trying to get back into this game. Well, it's only 6 minutes in, so there's a lot of gameplay left here. Smithy, 1 step at a time, we say. 1 Raptor smite at a time, gets the ward as well. That's some experience in the ward.
So, Energy, Apex, I should say, matching those lanes back up as fast as possible. Apollo goes down in the bot lane. They say, you know what? We're going to give CLG exactly what they don't want again and head to the top side to meet Stixay. Lanes are actually quite even across the board. A little bit of a lead here to Keen is who he has been pushed back due to this Shrimp pressure around mid. But he really hasn't shown himself other than the first time he's died. So he may not again.
I have to
Go
say,
back to farming.
admirable job here by Smithy. I mean, Smithy's been able to keep up in CS with this early kill Rek'Sai, who rushed into the Tiamat super early on. Plus, Smithy was able to get off the gank on the bottom side to get a kill back when all of his lanes are going to be under pressure. So, he's doing his best here to keep up with that early kill Rek'Sai.
Swap it again.
And yeah, exactly. You got to keep swapping around. You got to keep your enemies running so that they don't have time to straight up fight you in an even scenario. Just shove the wave out, try and push, and switch back.
We'll see if they can find some sort of lead on this. As I mentioned before, this is training wheels for them. This used to be their Morgana comp. Run around, get a pick, make sure you're on the forefront of the rotations, but here they're doing it reactively to try and stay on the forefront. So great job by Apex. Yesterday's momentum does seem to be carrying a little bit here in the confidence they're using. as they enter this game. Liquid, and then maybe CLG next.
Yep, and they're going to continue on with the pressure here, Apex. They're going to go for the blue invade, try and deny this from Huhi. They chase him off the pink ward. They should be able to get the buff as well, as special roaming once again. And they're swapping Apollo down to the bottom side. Ray should be walking up to the top side after that. CLG collapse though, and they chase him out. Apex not confident enough to go for this steal because they don't have Ray around. They don't have his teleport. And Counter Logic Gaming are able to stop the losses where they are. At least get that blue for Huhi, allow him some wave clear. He's down in CS, he's down in pressure mid, but he's up in experience.
And what a game this has made for Keen as well. First picking that Cassiopeia for the team in a blind pick against CLG and not even really having to deal with anything mid lane. Been able to farm, 2 assists, stacking his tier. Still has the potential to really explode in this one. Oh, finding a bit of pressure there. He'll get the Chaos Storm. A great turn by Huhi reading that one.
Oh.
And they actually get the flash overall out of Keen. Well played.
Yeah, he's predicting the ultimate from Smithy or the body slam flash. When somebody body slams on you on Gragas, you have to account for the extra distance of the flash because you can't wait to react to that play. If you let him get, you know, a flash's distance away from you while using body slam, then he's gonna get you if he decides to go for it. And that was a predictive flash from Keen, even though I think, even though it was a very small margin, I don't think Smithy quite had the distance to go for it, but man, really close call there. And if he had gone for it and Smithy had used his flash and right into the ultimate afterwards, then Keen would have been dead, so he doesn't risk it.
Quite a dance up here by Darshan and Ray, getting the sword pull through him, able to dodge the parallel convergence, and Darshan is making this look quite easy for himself. A little bit of pressure, and they may be able to actually get the kill advantage in this top side. He's still got to be wary. Ray has some items from the early game. Looking a lot better for CLG, though. They've avoided quite a bit of it.
Yep, and they're going to try and repeat on this mid lane. Keen, with both summoners down, needs extra vision around mid lane now. That's up to Shrimp on this Rek'Sai that got the early lead. Shrimp has purchased a pink ward. He needs to come down and help Keen get one side of the map that Keen can lean to until his flash and cleanse come back up. CLG, though, the ones going offensive here. They start to move up their ward line. Look at this. Down from the early game, and they're already starting to get a little bit the first line of the jungle vision for themselves.
There's that first hit. They knew the flash was down. The repeat gank. And Smithy's gonna get out of turret range just in time. No! Goes down in the end. It's a trade 1-for-1 as they continue to repeat on that mid lane.
Yep, vulnerable Cassiopeia there, but Keen does his job. He gets a kill back onto Smithy.
Huge.
That was very good, you know, play under pressure there for him. He had no other options, no option of getting out. So you just got to fight it, and now Shrimp goes.
Alpha move very low. They may go for the chase, but he can easily get that Cosmic Binding return and saves himself. So a bit of an engage here. Apex really feeling like they're on the forefront of this match. Continue to try engages even after losing their mid laner.
Yeah, roam down there from Darshan means that Ray can push up the side lane too. So Darshan's going to have to try and get back and CS under that turret. Meanwhile, the AD carries alone time down bottom. Apollo stacking up that tier. And a special constant roaming from him this game. They got the early lead, and he has an Ezreal as his AD carry, so he's been trying to make the most of his time. Walking around to get that extra vision and get the ganks off on the top side. Shrimp, though, hasn't actually been able to have like a super huge effect after the great early first game. You know? Yeah, the 3 camps into the gank to punish the flashless lane and the over pushing bottom lane. That was great, but you know, since then, not able to get as giant elite as you would expect.
Hitting mid lane that one time at 4 kills, and it seems like he's been a little timid ever since. Trying to go for ganks doesn't feel like he will come out as clean as possible. Darshan, this is really a rinse and repeat for him. He keeps going through QWE, right back for the waiting. As long as he gets a little help from Smithy, he could finalize this one very quickly.
Yeah,
but that's in the bot side.
it's huge when a Shen can get lane pressure because he also is going to be able to have the ultimate eventually when it comes back up. Doesn't have it now though, so Smithy has to be careful.
Smithy takes it away and walks away.
Jeez.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, and in that play, you're just hoping to deny it from Keen, basically, and you get the best of both scenarios there where he actually steals away the blue and is able to come away with it. How bold is this? Where the Rek'Sai starts out with the 2 kills, and then it turns into 4 after the bottom lane gank, yet Smithy is making these bold plays to get CLG some modicum of control. And they're almost able to right the ship here. They're still down 2,000 gold, but
this is really one of those tributes to no game is ever really over. Especially no matter how hard in the early game. There are some times, but this one really looked like it was just in Apex's favor. Shrimp could keep going. It only took another 10 minutes or so for CLG to figure out what was happening and stop that from snowballing too much.
Yeah. Apex are able to get the counter steal on the blue, even though it's a little bit close, and the blue buff on Rek'Sai doesn't mean a whole lot, as much as the blue on Smithy does, especially Xpecial. And Keen is recalling right now. There's nowhere for Xpecial to go.
This is when it gets dangerous, when you feel like you still have the security of your jungler roaming around being big, but nobody's really there.
Mid lane recalling, no mid lane pressure there for Apex, and
yep.
Xpecial's been on that constant roam mission this entire game because of the early lead that they had, you know, and the security that they thought they had, but now it's punished. Counterlogic Gaming actually able to earn the first Drake in this game after a very disastrous start to it. Let's see if Shrimp actually can steal with a Prey Seeker or something? Nah, okay. The one thing that Shrimp has been able to do, and that he's been able to do all season long really for Apex, is farm really hard. That's been one of his main priorities, especially when he does get the Rek'Sai. And it's actually resulted in some pretty interesting numbers for Apex, because usually if we look at the stats, there's a stat of jungle control. Let's see a little bit of fighting going on here. I'll update you later on the stats. Keep jumping down from top.
Oh, what a Glacial Fissure through the journey itself. And the Tempered Fate may stop this one. Afro move over the shoulder. Gets a nice connection on that Cosmic Binding.
So successful disengage here from CLG, but they do lose control of the bottom side. Xpecial though, one man alone.
He just came up. Now he goes down. What?
He's trying so hard. Xpecial's just overreaching here a little bit. Needs to calm down because Apex had complete control of the bottom side. Oh, the snipe!
Whoa, the heal right away. I think that came actually from Afro watching the turret, and he was shouting it out.
Blocks the Prey Seeker.
Last second.
My goodness. Woo! All right, so those farming stats for Apex. Usually we have this stat where we look at jungle control, which is
not yet,
never mind. Who cares about the jungle? Keen's going down. Now Shrimp moves in to take some more damage, I guess.
Oh, flash for Flash, who he as well. The ghost was there, but the distance was not able to be closed. Wow, a lot of action.
Hell, wow.
You sure you don't want to finish that now?
Every time I say it, something happens, and maybe there's a lot of people on the top side. Darshan could be the next target. I don't know. Ezreal's moving up there. On screen, though, who he getting some taunts in, too. They're feeling pretty good about this one. Yeah, Darshan is the next target.
Ooh,
Ray's trying to bait him here and toy around with him on Echo. Pretty mobile
here
champion.
Here comes the cavalry. He can get bopped out of Stand United pretty easily now with the concussive blows on. It's going to be the 1-2. Almost had the shield as well to follow. Mid lane fight. Oh, fangs him as he walks away. Keen wins the 1v1, and Smithy 1 second too late.
Wow. This game is intense, fighting all over the place. And, you know, after we were talking up Counterlogic Gaming's ability to stabilize after that disastrous early game, the last couple minutes here have been a return to a lot of fighting in Apex's favor. And the gold lead has increased for Apex in the last few minutes as Keen is finding plays in the mid lane. Top lane is not a 1-versus-1 battle. Even though it looks like Darshan's doing well every time we go up there, you know, he's got Ray on the ropes. He's harassing him heavily. Apex roam around as a team. Now Ray actually in a tricky spot. pretty tricky spot. And he won't be able to get out of this. As we said, you know, top lane, it's not a 1 versus 1. This one is a 1 versus 3. APX jumping on the inhibitor turret on the other side already, though.
Second tier for the top, or I should say the bottom. It looks like they're going to back off on this one.
Turned around this game.
It's a little crazy. CLG with the ability to keep swapping back and forth, slowing Apex down. And then once Apex kind of gets a read on where CLG is, everything goes back to crazy.
Yeah, once again, Cassiopeia, one of those champions we always point out for, oh, that cleanse though. We always point out as far as turning around 2 versus 1 situations, and that one right there actually didn't even seem too difficult for Keen. No big special plays right there, just lands the poison and starts spamming Twin Fang.
It's interesting to see some of these teams in the middle towards the bottom of the pack have a resurgence.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
That was very close.
Always towards the end of the split. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how they harness that, but why can't this resurgence be harnessed at the beginning of the split, Kobe? Why can't teams find this earlier? It's interesting. I guess it always takes the time to get the chemistry down. Here they're trying to keep themselves into playoffs. Apex. Ooh, Shrimp looking dangerous. A lot to follow, and Special stands behind me. We're safe. I don't know if the turret's going to be safe, though.
Yeah, definitely not, because Keen was just forced out of lane. So then the next two who show up forced off of lane. That means there's no wave clear left, and CounterLogic Gaming, again, making strides to get back in the game.
Oh, Shrimp's been running since mid-turret. Smithy and the rest of the team following through the jungle, and you see now how much control they have, and once they do, how much they start bullying their opponents around.
Yeah, also, with all these turrets starting to go down now, there's more area on the map that you have to watch out for that Ashe Bard bottom lane, the potential for these long-range picks we talked about for CounterLogic Gaming. Haven't really been prevalent quite yet. Now is the stage of the game where they really start to shine. If either Aphromoo or Stixxay is able to pick someone off, they also have the Shen who can join from the other side of the map. So Apex now need to put more of those deep wards down to try and see the Bard coming, see the Ashe arrows coming, so that they can dodge those and actually use this gold lead in a even numbered fight rather than getting picked off.
So Darshan's going to try to control bot, mirrored top by Ray. CLG moving in. Not looking good for Smithy, but they're not really the one he wants to engage on. He gives himself up knowing Darshan's going to come in. Shrimp gets the arrow, but he's going to take a while to go down. How much resource do they put in? The entire team of CLG turns their back on the ult from Keen, and they have a chance to fight back. But do they want to? Separating themselves from the fight. Looks like it's time to set up base in mid.
Ooh, some missed abilities there as far as the opening. Gives Apex the confidence to chase CLG, but then they use a bunch of flashes chasing also, so both teams burn a whole bunch of summoners in that, but not able to land the skills to secure any kills. But Ray on the ward!
He's got the break, he can go back. He didn't really take too much damage, and Darshan was ready to shield that. Ray has to run from the storm. He gets the Q from Huhi, which speeds up Huhi to follow now. It's not going to be able to get enough down, though. He does have the Rylai's, but they don't have the chase just yet. They're looking to zone out Apex to look for that mid lane.
Frantic game here. And Smithy trying to zone him off. They do get the stun onto Shrimp, but nobody wants to jump the wall. CounterLogic Gaming are slowing down a little bit. They want to calm down here and try and use their numbers advantage as Ray is off the field at the moment. Everyone low health, though.
True Shot Barrage only passing through 2. Looks like they can't actually get to mid. Apex still pretty good at getting over walls, getting around objects, and getting back to defend. Moves, though, for CLG put them just down about 1,000 gold here, so not too far to go.
That's good news for them because they were down 3,000 not a minute ago. Ray here on the ward. He ultimates back and gains some life using his ultimate, but you lose distance and you get closer to the people who are chasing you also. So the storm on the way out able to get him low enough that Huhi flashes in for the kill. Now, with the frenetic pace of this game, it's hard to keep track of all the summoner spell cooldowns, but that becomes extremely important. So starting now, Apex know, okay, Huhi, on the Victor, no escapes, and he just used both his summoners. So he should be a prime target for them. You have to start going down the list and categorizing. Everybody now has no flash on Counter Logic Gaming, but they're the ones going for the picks here as Shrimp does get stunned. Oh, he doesn't. Missed time.
Yeah, Aframu a little early there. They're still going to go for the shield. Xpecial easily able to shield that off in a choke point scenario. Huki pinches from the back. Solo AP mid coming into the back line with Darshan ready to be the cavalry. Storm is still onto Shrimp. He's got to stay out of the fight. Ray's going through. He wants the 3v1. Chrono breaks back as the rest of the team takes the journey so they can still reassess and enter back into the fight if they want to. A 3-for-1.
Yeah, CLG thought they got that pick we were talking about, but yeah, now they're on the chase. Ray in the back line with that Trinity Force, able to get the damage done in. Pretty slippery. Echo's already very fast because of the passive and the constant dash spam that he has, but adding the Trinity Force movement speed boost on top of it, and he's very slippery.
Whoop. Don't want to take too many shots. This is now Apex pushing out a little bit, getting the blue stolen in. Aframu locked down. He's going down as well. Smithy, that's going to be True Shot Barrage in just a few seconds, but he should have enough time to back, so he should be all right.
Yeah, overextension there by Smithy and Aframu, going aggressive just as a two-man mid-lane defense here. Apex actually looking to close in on this mid turret.
They don't really want to give CLG any time to recuperate on this. Apex Ray actually can't decide. He started to rotate mid, then says, push bot, we need more lane pressure as well so we can yo-yo mid.
Yeah.
And we'll see this fight again.
And this is that pick that they thought that they got here with the Bard starting it off. Aframu doesn't quite get the stun, and they use the arrow also. But this is a small corridor. Ray gets, look at that, 2 passives procs started on the back line, and then he goes in huge chunk out of sticks that gets exhausted and kites back out. But he's holding that small window. There's just too much action in this game. We can't go from replay to live play.
Keen's alive, turns around, cannot lock anybody up. Shrimp may go down here. CLG, once they start getting a roll on, they don't stop. The turret here should follow, and it might be an inhibitor as well.
They interrupt the tunnel there, able to get another chase down kill. And I don't even think we can do replays anymore. It's pick after pick, fight after fight. It's so hard to keep track of the actual objectives and the minion waves
Gotta set up
in this
stream
game
replays.
because it's just constant skirmishing from both teams. Props to CLG though. That's what you have to do when you face an early game deficit that's so overwhelming. You just have to change up the pace of the game and inject some chaos. You know, constant lane swaps, then constant skirmishes. You hope that you can bring the other team down to this level where they can't really keep track of it and they can't properly utilize their lead.
Yeah, and this should be something you keep track of, right? You have a guy split pushing, so you're not really engaging at the moment, but they do.
That arrow barely exploding on Apollo there was tragic for Apex, honestly, at the turret. And that's why CLG got the initiation here for the second play. Smithy there, that's the interrupt on the tunnel, and then Darshan goes in to land that. Everybody start flashing for the extra kill on the jungler.
Bing, bang, boom.
As we saw during our last live segment, Baron was taken. So that means that it's time to push. It's only 27 minutes into this game, but we've been fighting
like 40.
for 25 of them.
We actually have. It started right out of the gate. The first time the teams could see each other, they actually started fighting in the river. What a game so far. Who can keep up with the intensity? It looks like Counter Logic Gaming, they're closing that gold gap ever so slowly. Still sitting around 1,000. These outer ring of turrets should close that up and bring them to just about even. They got to be careful though. Keen can really counter with this ultimate. The rest of the team can hit hard. Xpecial's been getting really great defense in, and that's what we said Apex needed to do against CLG's comp, is be able to defend and get around that initiation.
And they also have to watch their flanks. Ray right now is running up the river through wards. He wants to cut them off again, goes in on Huhi.
Could be bad for him. Ray gets hit up for a second, but he still gets a big shield from his abilities and the abilities coming in from Darshan. Special now straight into the fight with Glacial Fisher. He's trying to get out, but too much damage. No, he's alive. Shrimp goes down first. CLG's been able to walk this one back and choose their targets basically the whole time. Ray finally finding a backline member he can zero out, and it's APX now that takes out the DPSers with CLG. Just a bit of a miss there at the end.
This game, I mean, all right. So part of the reason why these fights are so frantic is because they do have a lot of mobility here, with Ray constantly getting speed boosts and jumping back and forth. He actually used his ultimate there to dodge the Ash arrow from Stixay. If the taunt had worn off a little bit later and they'd been able to chain, or the arrow was shot a little bit earlier, then they could have 100%ed him, but he got out that window because he's got the Merc Treads to reduce it, and he was able to ultimate dodge the arrow, and then he was the one picking up kills in the backline. Now the Drake is taken, and we're gonna continue.
Oh, he just reads it. Knew that wall stun was coming, and he had to get over it. Almost a kill a minute here. We're short now that it actually hit 29 minutes, but what a bloody game so far. And the CLG is now looking to tack some damage down on the bot side of the map. You can see Apex frantically putting out wards so that they can see what's happening.
It's buy one, get one free as skirmishes today. One for everybody. All right, so here it is. Ray again, same kind of spot. He's cutting off that corridor because the parallel convergence cuts off that entire exit. Then he kites back. The taunt barely wears off. That's all because of the tenacity from his Merc Treads. It was actually a good Bard ultimate from Aphromoo there. He stasis, puts the backline in stasis while they're trying to DPS the front line. Then it was a good ultimate from Keen and a good chunk on Stixay. Ray sees the low health backline, goes for the execution kill. On the other side, Keen was able to get the poison and last twin Fang to take out Huhi as well. So both Stixay and Huhi targeted, able to go down very, very late in that fight, is why Apex were able to barely gain control. And it's just attacking from all sides here. Take a breather, Riv.
Yeah, second moment. All right, I think we're good. Things are going to get harder for CLG's initiations. I don't know if that's going to matter, though, since they can pretty much force most of these fights with the Tempered Fate. You can cleanse that arrow as well. So here you go, another force. Xmithy, though, where's the rest of the team on this one? I don't think he realized he was going to see more than one member for a moment.
I mean,
he's just having a little fun, pouring one out.
Yeah, maybe a lack of communication there, or commitment, but it didn't seem like they were quite on the same page. CLG were in a 1-3-1 with their AD carry splitting at that time. And yeah, they did have some deep vision and they wanted to go for that play on Keen, but Smithy shorted a little bit the body slam flash this time around and wasn't able to get the combo. So no body slam land, no play created. Here we go though, now he's stuck in the miasma.
Stun for stun, teleports come in, Darshan still has his, so if this fight goes well, they can still split it out. Huhi right in the middle of the fight, dashing in goes Darshan, and he's trying to take down Xpecial. Quite tanky though. Ray and Stixay at the top side. Stixay trying to get himself saved up here. He is finally going to go down as Keen starts to focus on those squishy members. And now Ray versus Aphromoo. Afro's been trying to get to the back line every time, get good bindings in, and it seems to be separating the team a little.
I love watching Ray on these backline threat champions, whether it was his Fizz early in the split, or things like his all AD Jarvan, the Trinity Force Echo now picked up from the Korean and Chinese couple of games recently. I mean, he goes from backline threat to backline threat. He started that fight on Huhi, and once Huhi was able to escape there and he got exhausted, just a quick target change from Ray over to Stixay. He takes out the AD carry, barely having enough health to ult back as well, and finishes it off. I mean, this guy is so exciting to watch.
And to make Aphromoo's life a living hell, trying to chase and peel too.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning here, everybody starts collapsing. Teleport does start to come in.
Great Bardo.
And they actually don't get the laser damage there because of the Bardo.
That's
true. There goes Ray. He's on Huhi right now. But once he gets exhausted, he swaps over to Stixay, has the Ashe in the backside, and he's almost going to lose that because Afromu comes over, but Keen is there to finish it off. Ray gets his ultimate to heal back up. He can continue chasing down. And then meanwhile, that whole time, Shrimp and Apollo were fending off the rest of CLG and pushing up mid lane here. So APX able to divide and conquer in that team fight and increase their lead just a little bit. But man, this has been blow for blow ever since the very opening of the game. Neither team is back down from an opportunity to create a play. Both teams very willing to pull the trigger as far as the playmaking goes.
Could be very beneficial for Ray as well. That Magi is stacking up for him on top of the items that are going to help him stay alive, stay in these fights even longer. Apex seems like they're loving to fight. CLG has really been finding their footing in the later parts of the game, normally around this time. But Apex is keeping them at bay. 17-14, even growing the lead once again. You can see, we wondered what Ray would be on. He always likes to be on that carry. They showed the Shen at first, but the Echo pick seems to be working for him. I'm not even sure if it's Keen. They need to worry about Keen, but what is Ray going to do next?
And people say, oh yeah, you know, Echo, during that whole time when he was the premier top laner, building tanky with the Iceborne before it got, oh, never mind. Too many stories, let's fight!
Stixay looks like he has no chance. He just holds his breath. They throw him down under. It's going to be Darshan, a focus as well. Xpecial's holding 3 at bay as CLG tries to disengage, but the Glacial Fissure slowing them down, keeping them in place, and knocking them down as well. Everything CLG's doing here is really just kind of slowing down what Apex is trying to finish, but Apex is still finding the results. They're still powering through the fight. Huhi to the back line may be able to do some damage now. His ult is down, so he is going to have to run for his life, and there is going to be threes a crowd onto him. Apollo, yes, he went on an adventure that I don't think he wanted, and he actually goes down, so they trade 2 for 3 in the end, as a lot limp away from this fight.
I mean,
got any stories?
Do it. No, we gotta go. Oh, live play team fight, then replay team fight, then live play team fight, then replay team fight.
Well, here's this one.
Starts it off on the AD carry. That miasma was great. That ensured that Stixay had nowhere to go. He's down, and so this is a 4 versus 5 from this point on from CLG. Yet they defend pretty well as they're kiting back. It is gonna cost Smithy his Guardian Angel in this, but the re-engage here with Huhi. If Huhi wasn't low on mana, he might have been able to clean up even more in this, by the way. There goes Shrimp, though, on the tanks to secure that extra frontline kill. And back to live play team fight. Let's go. Baron started up.
The nice Seraphs there at the end of that replay for King to save himself. And onto this Baron. Smithy looking pretty low. They'll have that quick back, though, so they can get themselves set right back up out to push these waves. 2 waves being pushed in for Apex to see how they use this pressure. If they can, at all.
Well, if I'm keeping track, I'm not quite sure, you know, there's been so many fights in this game. I'm pretty sure CLG have been controlling all the Barons, whereas Apex, besides that first Drake, that kind of logic game we're able to take while they're down in gold, by the way, Apex have been able to get the next 3 consecutive Drakes, and they are going to add this mountain to the roster here. And they're ahead in gold still, too. So if they wait out the Baron buff, and if CLG aren't able to get any more extra gold, you know, through the turrets or through pushing here into a team fight, then Apex technically still do have the lead in this game. But man, it is all about they're not even skirmishes anymore because everybody's joining for every single team fight. As soon as 2 people start fighting, it's like a schoolyard brawl where everyone's like, fight, 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 and everybody joins from across the map, all over Summoner's Rift. You hear the call, and you go to wherever the skirmish starts. It's a 5-on-5. Every single skirmish, every time somebody throws a punch, both teams collapse.
That's exactly what they wanted out of Champion Select. We're like, disengage? No, not there, not on that side.
What'd you say about my mama? Fight, fight, fight.
We'll see. It's getting a little too close to home. I'm just kidding. 38 minutes in. That's 37 minutes in. I'm sure the next fight won't be too long from now. 20-16. We're getting below kills on minutes here. They need to do some more fighting.
Well, Stixay has the Ash Arrow. Afromu has the Bard ultimate. The The utility is here. It's just that because of the Baron buff on Counter Logic Gaming, this is the first time where Apex have not extended out onto the map. So they're not offering options for Counter Logic to engage on right now. You know, they're waiting out the Baron as they should and just trying to farm up. They're actually getting a decent amount of farm out of their own jungle and holding all of the lanes. Counter Logic Gaming, though, trying to make use of this Baron. They're actually focusing on having that split push from Darshan, level 18 Shen with Baron buff, moving towards the inhibitor turret. This one's getting whittled down as well. CLG are making some headway here.
There's a ping down to the bottom. Ray will be called away. He's the guy that's been able to get to the back line.
That's a Baron-empowered triple wave that Darshan has with him.
Yeah.
You really underestimate the extra damage from minions when they're Baron empowered, and Darshan's gonna be able to get that inhibitor turret.
This opens things up now for Counter Logic Gaming. It must be a sigh of relief. They don't really have to push too much anymore. They can now use the other side of the map to do the work for them with Darshan tagging every so often. You do have to be careful a little bit of that poke though. Stixxay making sure he keeps himself alive. And Aftermove throwing out more shrines and Coco so they can keep here for a while.
And Darshan's not done either.
Nope.
Yeah, the turret's down,
not.
but Apex are staying with the same defense, and Darshan's working on the inhibitor during this time. He's almost finished it too. The minions help. Ray's not even trying to kill Darshan because he's GA Shen full tank. Can't even damage him, and Ray's trying to kill minions down there. CLG get another objective off of this. Oh, they pull the trigger!
And it is the forced fight, but where's Ray? Nobody can get on Stixxay. Nobody can get on Huhi. They don't have that dive line anymore, and CLG is able to pick and choose now, sitting on the outside of the fight. Now Ray's back. Parallel convergence onto 2 with the stun. Shrimp's there. Stixxay's gonna go down. Keen's routed his way around so he wasn't seen, and they start to clean up the fight, but they've lost so much.
X Special with the Braum. He's the only one dead right now, but he saw the opening on Stixxay. He went for the flash play, even though Ray would have to channel the full teleport to get here. And Apex knew it was going to be an outnumbered team fight because of the line that X Special saw on Apollo. He went for the play. They were able to get the team fight, and because Keen and Apollo were still up, even though X Special sacrifices himself for the play, Apex cleanup afterwards. Ray's channel eventually does complete. He joins on the team fight and is able to take out the back line, and Apex make their way into the base. X Special game-saving play right there, as CLG were just taking free inhibitor turret, free inhibitor. X Special was able to wait here.
It's all about what comes of the play for X Special.
Flash ultimate still gets the knockup on Stixxay, even though Stixxay flashed it. And then he got the passive. X Special does go down, but look at that chunk from Keen. Because everyone's focused on X Special and killing the Braum. Keen on the Cassiopeia late game monster that she is, got a magnificent ultimate off. He's untouched and gets to take a huge, huge chunk out of the entire team of Counter Logic Gaming. X Special dies for it, and Keen follows up.
Yeah, we're back to a kill a minute. That's what I like. Keep it up. There's got to be some kind of record here. Absolutely awesome what is happening right now. Week 9, leaving everything on the Rift here is what CLG and Apex are doing, and we still got more games to go for these guys. A 4,000 gold lead for Apex now. As they continue to get pushed into their base, it's very likely that CLG may be able to win this game down in gold. As they continue to rotate around the map, with that inhibitor down, they still control quite a bit.
Anything goes, Riv.
At this point,
this
is absolutely
League of Legends. One inhibitor down for each team. Counter Logic Gaming trying to clear out that vision and open up another pick opportunity over and over again, looking for the Ashe arrows, looking for the Bard ultimates. Try and pick someone off from Apex, as people are starting to max out on inventory space here. There are still items to be upgraded, but no slots left. Xmithy on the jungle is actually full build Gragas now. Nothing left for him to do, and both junglers maxed out now. Ray's been maxed out on the top lane. Echo, so is Keen. I mean, this is all about how you set up the team fights now, and you know who gets that split second extra DPS time. Especially now with the Banshees as well. He's gonna look for that play to start it off once again.
Looks like it's going to possibly be a Baron. Special getting spooked as it comes out. It's all right. It is gigantic.
Yep.
There we go. That one hits.
Hui is back in the base, and they're gonna burn this sucker down. Bard can delay it. Ash Arrow can also stall it. It's enough. They don't see Hui is so far away, and Apex pull off the Baron, but they re-engage it.
And Hui's actually going around to see if he can avoid any wards as well. He is doing the right thing, whether he knows it or not. Parallel Convergence is in, but obviously Ray is still on the outside. They're waiting for Hui. Back and forth. They get Ray. He's going to Chrono Break. That's the position he goes back to, if anything.
Ray needs to go heal, though. He's not AP Echo, so it doesn't heal him a whole bunch with the ultimate. Darshan's going for the back door.
He's definitely getting a Nexus turret up front. He's knocking on something, and it looks like they're going to be able to get that one down. Yes, Ray goes back, but we've seen this fight before. Darshan's able to walk out, and CLG are playing off the ball right now for the win.
Alley-oop. Are they able to get out of it, though?
Ooh, Chaos Storm riding on 3 right now, and it's not going to be doing too much. Darshan coming in, though, from the base here. Keen can turn it around. The choke points have been good for Apex, and CLG turns away.
Ray holds onto his teleport, too. Apex make the call. They're confident in that disengage. Now it's CLG to start up that Baron. Let's go, let's go.
Ring around the Rosie. Coming in from CLG. Void Rush is too late. The laser comes out, slowing down Keen. Can he lock anybody in? Darshan slowed by the Rylai's, but is there any chase? Shrimp doesn't have a tunnel just yet, and the journey is going to save Counter Logic Gaming. Back and forth, turning Apex on their head.
You still got to keep up the pressure, though, because the Elder Dragon's up. Baron-empowered recalls for CLG mean they can get back to heal and rush out to contest it. Apex are heading over there. They should just set up vision and try and create an advantageous team fight. They're actually starting it. It's really hard to burn down, especially with no Keen. They're just going to take damage doing this. That's not a good call. Got to set up vision and try and get some extra health while you chunk out the enemy team while they're walking into the fog of war here. Keen has arrived into the jungle.
Apex can just buy some time. A fight may allow this massive wave on the top to be something they move on to after Ray gets hit. Tenacity allows him out just a little sooner. Glacial Fisher over to Xmithiel. That's a lot of HP to target for a priority. Shrimp's through to the backside, but he doesn't have a target either. And there is so much tension here as each team tries to figure out what the doorway is into these fights.
I had something to say about 5 minutes ago. That was some point of analysis that I thought was really good at the time, and I was saving it until the team fight ended, but then we had another one and another one. And now we're going to have another Elder Dragon start here. They clear out the vision, and Apex are going to have to come through the jungle, which is right going to feed into extra Victor damage. The gravity field can zone off. Smithy can separate the team. You have to be so careful here if you're Apex, funneling through the jungle corridors into Counter Logic Gaming.
I don't know why, but my brain is so amazed by the size of this wave top lane. Might be the biggest wave I've ever seen, but it's about to fight in the mid lane. It could happen. That wave is important, but this is more. Smithy, half a Mountabar now. It's not bad, but they aren't taking the fights. They're just bumping back and forth. They're almost taunting each other.
Darshan is on the inhibitor once again. Apex are forcing it because of that.
Ray wants to play softball with Xmithy for a little bit. He's got to back off, and they have to make a decision. CLG is calling the card on Apex and saying, what are you going to do?
The minion wave on top side for Apex. The Shen split pushing on there for CLG. They're actually making the call to send Ray up there, who doesn't have teleports, or he's going to have to try and kill Darshan because the rest of CLG are doing the Elder Dragon.
They can't afford to really lose any members. They have to be safe enough to hopefully poke down CLG, but stay alive.
Indecision in the late game is going to cost you against Counter Logic Gaming. They get the inhibitor and the Elder Dragon, and they get back in time to defend the large wave. So Apex, unable to make a decisive move. They don't defend the inhibitor. They don't defend the Elder Dragon. They don't kill Darshan. They got nothing out of that last tug of war between the Dragon Pit and the bottom inhibitor.
And the gold is tied.
The gold is tied, but the objectives have swung back in favor of CLG.
Oh,
they have Elder Dragon and Baron. Baron's about to time out. It's going to come down again to the team fight, though. I mean, as much as we talk about all this positioning over objective after objective, Baron will time out soon. The Elder Dragon buff is actually a pretty short buff, so that one's going to time out shortly after. There's about 1 minute and 10 seconds left on it already, and Apex are just going to try and hold. that outer turret, they should give up that outer turret because those are difficult to fight at. There are too many angles for CLG to pick people off and try and get through to Keen. So, and Keen is the one they have to protect. Like, Keen is a monster source of late game damage on Cassiopeia. If they allow Keen to get a good Cassiopeia ultimate off again, that could still be enough for them to turn it around.
Ray's got to come back now. His teleport is not up just yet. They cannot afford to fight. Good thing they have the wall to hide behind for now. CLG has to pinch themselves to get into the base, and that's what APX wants. APX, I don't know how far they want to go out for this fight, though. A bump and a knock doesn't allow Shrimp through the magical journey after a tunnel, and they're still waffling back and forth. Somewhat in from CLG. Ray is in the middle of this with a parallel convergence. True shot barrage almost drops Stixay on the back line, even after passing through a few members. Keen's got to back out, but Kuhi is dead, so it's almost the same on both sides. It's only the factor that 60 seconds is going to keep Kuhi out of this fight. Keen is going to be able to home rush or home guard back in, and maybe Apex can keep it looking good. Can they bait CLG into something where Keen come back? But it looks like it's just going to be cleanup.
That was a flank from Huhi, and he almost 100%ed Keen, but Keen lived with maybe 50 health there.
Yeah.
And Huhi did not, because Ray pulled back off. He initially went on Stixay, got Stixay's flash, then pulled back. Again, Ray with the backline target swaps again. This guy, look at the initiation here. He gets the parallel convergence stun onto Stixay, or Stixay actually flashes the stun. Then he sees the flank from Huhi, turns immediately around, and that's what saves Keen, because they finish him off, and the storm stops moving, doesn't chase Keen down, because they finish off Huhi. This is just so tense here, Riv. We got to the late game. We made it. It's full item builds for everybody.
Yeah, it's basically max, except for the
2
Chalice
Guardian
here,
Angels apiece. Yeah, except for maybe the supports can possibly upgrade, or you've got a pink ward slot or something, but
whatever.
Again, exactly. It's all about the late game team fight. Death timers will be long. Inhibitors are already exposed, so here we go.
That's a huge target. The power play possibly from CLG if Apex can't turn this one around, and it does look like they're able to reset just a little bit. Ray is not being focused, and he has time to look at the back line. Shrimp's there as well. Huhi laser over the wall with great damage. Chaos Storm is pinching them in. Keen was left out to dry by his team. They couldn't get around the wall. They wanted to help, but now they're forced to run. The teleport coming in, and Darshan's gonna get the taunt. It's onto Apollo. A quick cleanse and a turret to hide under may be the solace that they need, but CLG doesn't even see the turret. They run right by it, and they're gonna start dropping members of Apex, and they might be able to drop the Nexus.
And that is gonna be it for this thrilling first game of the series. And well, we can't call it too close. There still are technically members for Apex trying to defend, but it is 5-on-2, and it's going to take a Ray miracle.
We'll see what the focus is. Parallel convergence stun could be enough time. It's 27 seconds on Keen. He went down first, 40 afterwards for the resulting members, and it may not be enough. CLG finds the second Nexus turret, and after one hell of a barn burner, Game 1 goes to Counter Logic Gaming over Apex.
This is the first time I support the use of Barn Burner for one of the games that we've set it in. That was action-packed from before even minions